Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 fancast. I'm your host, as always, Havokpus, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Frozencreek. How's it going?
Hello. I'm hanging in there. It's been a cool week weather-wise, so I've been quite happy. It's 75 right now, and that's the hottest it's been all week.
Yeah, Suntype Guns out. It's 88 here. And I know that thanks to the fancy new little tab thingy that Microsoft totally non-invasively put into every computer.
Oh, yeah, that is true. I totally forgot about that. I tried to turn that off the other
I looked to see if there was an option to turn it off. There is not. It's just there.
There has to be some way to turn it.
I don't think so. I think it's just there. I think we're stuck with it now.
Which is dumb because I like to have a nothing on my background and nothing extra on my bar, but now I have that.
Now you got it sitting there,
absolutely no reason.
Staring at you, mocking you.
Well, it's nice out today, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, there you go. But we don't have a whole lot. I do have a couple snippets. Big congrats to the Apex Legends team, starting from 38th place to finishing second in the LGS finals. They started at 38th, Frozen. They were really down there. It was their opening showing not so great. They finished second place and first overall in points.
So why didn't they get first then?
So they did a really stupid format that everyone didn't like, where it was a match point system. So it doesn't matter whoever has as many points. I think it came down to and it was kind of confusing, but it came down to basically they were on the last map of the night, and it was like, okay, whoever wins this map, and I guess they did like a tier thing where like you have to meet a certain cutoff to make it to the next, to the next map. They were like, okay, so this one is for all the marbles. Whoever wins this wins the tournament. And I think that's how it kind of came about. I'm really fuzzy on the details, but it was a really bad format, and a lot of people actually said that they disagreed with the format and thought it was really stupid. But we got second still, and that's really good. And I think TSM got third or maybe fourth. So it's always good to see us showing higher in the standings whenever we can.
And it sounds like a dumb format because we didn't win too, which makes it double dumb.
Yeah. But
to add on to that, I didn't see it in our scheduling. It looks like Rainbow Six lost to Damwon.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either.
Bad. Yeah, me neither, but they lost badly.
Yeah. Also, a quick thing.
So you didn't miss anything.
Apparently, our Valorant roster, at least for the near future, Zeppa is now slotted into the main lineup instead of Poise. I'm not sure if Poise is gone or he's just on the bench to get some time to maybe work better. But so now Leaf slotted in for Poise, or not Leaf. Zeppa's slotted in for Poise, so it's Leaf, Zeppa, Floppy, Mitch, and Zeta. I don't know when we play next, but hey, that's some information that you can get excited about.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on blue or white. Is Poise the one who was not playing all that well?
Poise was the one that was kind of struggling, yeah. Like, Floppy was... He was the one that, got on the team even though he, hadn't played the game very much, but he looked better with each game as he was, transitioning into playing Valorant. Poison was the one that was kind of weird in that he's... I think in solo queue he's ranked, number 1, but he is really hit or miss when it comes to, he'll have, a game where he pops off into something really sick, but then, the next game or, a few games later, he'll just kind of fall on his face and not... And he hit a slump point, so it was kind of hot and cold. But Zeppa was really consistent on our CSGO team, so hopefully that will be the case in Valorant.
Yeah, I wonder if that was the plan all along, since they did bring on Zeppa. So I guess it can't be bad because I don't think there's any major tournaments coming up. So
yeah.
It's something.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that because our eyes are peeled, but they are still closed.
Yes. I guess just moving on to League of Legends because we don't have a whole lot else to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think a lot happened this week.
Sparker finally turned 18, and so he can play for the London Spitfire now, if you care about that.
Oh, cool. Or have they said anything about promoting him or anything?
I don't think I've seen anything specifically. I just saw the tweet saying it was his birthday and he turned 18.
Huh. I would
assume that they're moving him forward because that's literally the only reason why he couldn't be in the roster in the first place.
Yeah, so I guess that's something.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about our youth, I feel like now is a good time to talk about the academy team, which is not very youthful, but
No.
outside of Copy and who is it, Isles?
I don't know. Surenfire is kind of young, though. He has.
No, he's
Okay, that's true. Never mind. The team went 2-0 against FlyQuest Academy and 1-1 against CLG Academy. So the team is still like crushing it, like numbers wise. I don't think we have yet to go 0-2 in a series, which is good.
No, we went 1-1 against CLG Academy and 100 Thieves Academy, which I know 100 Thieves Academy is good. I'm not sure about CLG. That was the one game I didn't get to watch.
Yeah, but the team is still looking good. Of course, you know they have Sven and Darshan and Surenfire who have been playing for a while, and then Copy and Isles are kind of more the, I guess, quote unquote upcoming.
Yeah, Surenfire is 23, so he's not that young.
Yeah.
But I feel like Copy has been playing super well this split. I've always been critical of him, but he's still young. I think he's only 18. Maybe he just turned 19 recently.
Yeah.
But he's up for the first 4 games. He played new champions each time, and he's been playing like Renekton and stuff. So super cool to see him play better champions for the meta than Perkz.
Yeah, yeah. His champion pool is like really big.
That's beside the point. Yeah, but they are taking on Evil Genius's Academy as we record this, so there won't be any updates on that. And they play the Immortals Academy tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually today. So keep an eye out in a few hours.
Yeah. I guess we can talk about, moving on to the 3-0 weekend, which I think that, looking at our team and the teams that we faced, really wasn't that shocking. I mean, we perfect gamed FlyQuest, which was awesome, but I think that having a game that dominant is to be expected, considering what FlyQuest kind of has to work with. Though I will say also, I'm making a lot of amendments to this whole thing, but FlyQuest has been playing better than they did in the spring, which is good. But we absolutely crushed FlyQuest into the dirt, not allowing them to take a single objective.
Or were you watching ProView at all?
No, I heard it was hilarious.
I heard
though
all chat was good. Yeah,
yeah, it was very spicy. Licorice, Licorice, I think at one point was like pleading with them, just like, let us take something, please, just give us a tower.
One kill.
And they were just like, no.
Yeah, so that was fun to see. That was the Perkz on LeBlanc game, and Chimes played Soraka.
Yeah, Perkz has been looking. He's been looking good all week. I think to get to Chimes' point, Soraka apparently is a really good counter to LeBlanc. So the strategic thinking behind the pick, as what it was explained by the casters and other people, it was sound. It wasn't like they were trolling. It seemed like, since he has this AoE silence, when LeBlanc distorts in, you just pop it at your feet. She can't distort back out, and then so you're kind of a sitting duck.
I think we picked LeBlanc into Soraka.
Oh.
In his dreams, not Chimes. Yeah, they picked Soraka last, and we picked. Oh
yeah, because we were on red side, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Perkz was just really cocky.
It's still true that Soraka is decent into LeBlanc, I imagine, and that Perkz is cocky.
Yeah, both statements still true. But the team looked really good there. I don't think there's really a whole lot to say on that. The CLG game was really weird because we won but we
Yeah.
kind of messed around a lot. And I think that, like, I understand it since, like, we haven't seen Lee Sin jungle in a while. So, I think everyone kind of forgot how much Lee Sin in the jungle can take over games. But I think it was mostly, like, we had this really scaling comp with, like, the Tristana mid, and then you had,
Kog'Maw Lulu.
yeah, Kog'Maw Lulu. So, you need Kog'Maw to scale up, which eventually King did. And when he did, he was just deleting people. Like, but I think it's just that when we pick these scaling comps, I think since the team's approach and Blabber's approach as a jungler is to fight early, it just puts us in these really bad spots where it's just like we want to fight, but we're not strong enough to fight because we're these scaling champions, and we're going into teams that have better champions in the early game, so then we just lose. And it's like, well, yeah, we're kind of behind now, so we have to wait a bit longer. Hopefully things work out.
Yeah, and I actually thought that CLG played a really good game too.
Yeah, Broxa and
Broxa popped off.
Broxa and Wild Turtle were just, they were trying to carry CLG and like just kicking and screaming across the finish line. They were.
Yeah, and Paul Belter was kind of troll.
Yeah, his performances, I think, for the past year, despite like everyone wanting him to be in the LCS because he's such an old favorite, he has not been warranting like an LCS spot with his play, if I'm being honest. But I think
it was not his best week.
Yeah, I think though that like we showed good resolve in the CLG game, and we did show that like our draft did ultimately work. With sort of the scaling comp at like after a certain point, Perkz and King were doing so much damage it didn't matter. Right, like we were just deleting people. And if you look at the scoreline, like for King didn't play bad at all. Like he was putting up Sven level numbers in that game. I believe he was like 6-1-7 or something. I can pull up like the actual match thread to see.
He
specifically,
my opinion on it was kind of that he was useless until it was impossible for him not to be.
Yeah, that's literally Kog'Maw. You're useless until. So he was role playing.
Into like 3 or 4 items.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's just.
Yeah, it's game over. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, they like looking at the scores, like KDA wise, Fudge kind of had a bad game. And you could kind of tell after the game was over, he looked really disappointed himself. But, that may have been like Fudge was still kind of learning Gwen a bit. But Blabber went 4-2-9. Perkz did 6-2-5. King went 6-1-7. Vulcan 0-1-13. These are really good numbers, I think, at least from a statistical point of view.
Yeah, Vulcan was probably the MVP of that game.
Yeah, and Vulcan's been playing so well this summer season. I think maybe just this year in general. He's been on form, I think, most, if not, like a really, like 90% of the time. He's having really good games. He's shielding. He's engaging. He's doing everything right and everything he possibly can to create openings for his carries, to get kills and to secure objectives, which is what a support needs to be doing. He's doing everything, and he's one of our. I think like him and Fudge are probably our most valuable players actually, for how much they do for us, just in terms of their play and their consistency. And you look at Fudge in the Dignitas game, he absolutely crushed it on Gwen. He looked really, really good, especially with just a bit more practice. He went 6-3 on Gwen into Fake Gods Viego, which I think Viego may just be a debatable pick in general, since I've seen a lot of LCS and LEC teams pick it, and it has not went very well.
No, I don't think I've seen anyone pop off.
I haven't seen like a team pick Viego and win, really.
Yeah. So, I feel like it can still be good because it can go invulnerable and reset on champion kills.
Yeah, the healing,
the healing there, but
the healing is what makes him such an attractive champion. But I think that with how much more accelerated the pace of competitive games are versus, just playing solo queue, you can't get to like a comfortable point where it's like, okay, I have enough items where I can actually go in and fight multiple people and keep the whole reset game really going. I think that in pro matches, everything's just so much quicker, so you can't get to that point or really get super far ahead unless like you and your jungler just hard camp. Hard camp whatever lane the Viego is in and just keep continuously giving him kills. So he's just like hyper accelerated.
And then if he gets hyper accelerated, like he's picking up champions who are then weak too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird place to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dig game was a massacre.
Yeah. I was surprised it was such a massacre considering how I think really well did kind of blossom into like a really exciting team. I was expecting a much more like close, more competitive game, but we just absolutely steamrolled them. And I think part of it was like getting like the 4 kills really early with Vulcan roaming on Galio. I think the Galio was a really smart pick, and it really helped us.
He played it so well.
He zoned so well, and the multi-man taunts he was constantly doing just gave so many kills over. And Fudge and Perkz really like just took over the game. Like King didn't do anything. King just played farming simulator because they kept killing him on Ezreal. He was just, I guess I'm just gonna take this tower, you guys. And they're like, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
But
and like they made Kali look
yeah, they made her look balanced.
And Seraphine was useless.
Yeah.
So it was a weird draft from
and there was that one play from Neo where I think he did like a little finger fumble risky there, and he accidentally sent his ultimate backwards right before the soul fight, so they didn't have the charm, and that I think that really put the nail in the coffin for Dig. But I think
it was over. But
oh no, yeah, it was over. But then that was like it's super over. It's over.
Yeah.
I think ultimately the team did really well this week, as they should. I think this is a good confidence booster for them. I think they also really tried some stuff that I've been wanting to see, like as watching like LAC and leading up to the games this weekend. I was wanting to see us play Kog'Maw. I was hoping that we could get a chance to see us play Gwen either on Fudge or Perkz. We had the Lulu run-ins, and we did the Juggermom, which I guess kind of it's linked together, but we did some picks that I've been seeing crop up, which was really nice, and we looked like we understood how to play around those picks, which is really good. So I'm curious how we're going to solve this week, because this week's going to be a bit more interesting. We have
actually, before we get to that, based off what you just said, Fudge did an interview this week.
Oh yeah, I
he
heard
talked about playing some quote-unquote off meta champs, and I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm worried. But one of my first thoughts is Fiddlesticks Jungle.
I've seen that a little bit. They're actually playing it right now.
This is like Shermfire's like third Fiddlesticks game, and he seems to really like it, and I can see Blabber doing it.
Yeah. I could also maybe see us picking like Nocturne top or something, because that's been played in the LEC a lot. You don't really see that a lot in the LCS.
And LPL, yeah.
But Nocturne top has been solo Nocturne has been like a thing off and on for like the past year. I've seen it on like a few patches here and there. So we could see that. We could see a bunch of things. I don't think we're gonna get too crazy with it, especially considering who we're up against.
I hope we do.
Evil Geniuses. We play it on Friday at 6 Eastern, Immortals 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, and then TSM, the big one, the big rivalry match, at Sunday 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I think all eyes are obviously going to go to TSM on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean that's the big money match.
Yeah, but Evil Geniuses has been off and on this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say
as
that.
expected.
I was gonna say that also, that EG has been really off and on. Just in this summer split alone, they've won some games, they've lost some games. You can't really tell which Evil Geniuses you're gonna really get when the match starts. So that's gonna be really interesting. And we're gonna kind of see. I will say Danny's a pretty good AD carry. He's been like kind of the standout performer for Evil Geniuses, because when Evil Geniuses are doing really well, it's usually off the back of him. But when they're not doing well, it's not necessarily him, but it's he's trying. He's trying.
Yeah. Yeah, they have some taking time bombs.
Yeah.
in mid. So
Yeah,
and
Jizuke
jungle.
sometimes has some issues.
Yeah, and it's also the return of Svenskeren and Impact, so always something to look out for there.
Yeah, we have so many former C9 friends that we have to play against on a constant basis.
But I feel like we should be favorited for that match pretty heavily.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think on paper as well as just we've seen to be at least more consistent than Evil Geniuses, so I think that we should be favored for that. The Immortals game is going to be interesting because the Immortals have actually been playing a lot better.
They've been playing better
with who they have. They made some shuffles, I believe.
Yes, I think they've been subbing in academy players who have been playing and practicing well, if I remember correctly.
I think they might have, but whoever they're playing, whatever they did, it seems to be working because they're looking a lot better. They've taken some games off to some people, and I think even the games that they lost, it hasn't been as bad or as in spring where everyone's just like, well, this team's just a joke. So.
They beat Team Liquid last week.
Yeah.
So,
they beat Team Liquid's been having rough.
And they pulled out a Gragas jungle, so.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a Gragas mid.
Ooh, that would be that's throwing it back to like season 3 or something.
I saw a video of a Korean maybe challenger or masters player playing it pretty consistently. So I don't know.
We could maybe see it. Who knows?
I wouldn't think so, but it wouldn't be that out of the question.
Yeah.
But or Varus mid.
We'll have to see.
Or that's an old one too, but I think we're heavily favored for that one too by even more. I think we're blue side both for the first 2 days.
Okay.
So
for some reason, I always like blue side better than red side. Red side feels weird. I don't like playing red side.
I like red side more, but blue side right now is pretty strong just because of all the bans that there are. So.
What do you think of the TSM game? TSM has also been having some issues of their own. They've been looking shaky at certain points.
Or that first week they came out on fire. So I think everyone was expecting them to kind of run.
Yeah, there was a. I know someone was like, TSM will never like lose first place, and they made a bet. And then, like, literally the first game they played last week, they lose.
To be fair, it was 800 Thieves.
That's true.
But
then they also lost the Fly Quest.
Yeah, which dropped them out of first place in the first week. But I think we are probably favorites for this game. Not as overwhelmingly, but like maybe a 55-60% favorites. We are on red side, I believe, which kind of hurts.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna pull out something weird, I hope we do it here. Depending on what it might be, I guess we'll see. But
yeah, we'll have to see. I think that as long as the thing with TSM that I've noticed is that they seem to really struggle with being cohesive. Like, it seems like everyone wants to do their own thing rather than everyone being more of a unit. Like Spica wants to do his own thing. Power of Evil kind of wants to do his own thing. Huni wants to do his own thing. Sword Art and Lost want to do their own thing. So it feels like they're kind of rubbing against each other and trying to like figure out what to do sometimes. And that's where it really backfires. Like you can tell when TSM is really having trouble, and it's when like Huni's just going off and doing something, and the rest of the team is going a completely different direction, and you're like, where's everyone else going? And Huni dies. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they approach this week, looking at who they're playing just as a comparison. They're playing Immortals also. They're playing Dig, and then they play us. So it's going to be really interesting to see them going into our match on Sunday versus us. It'll be kind of difficult. I think that we're both teams that kind of favor the mid jungle mid-top kind of style of play. I think that TSM and us both kind of leave bot lane to its own devices, and we focus more on the top half of the map and try to getting the solo lanes ahead. So it'll be interesting to see how we kind of approach that.
Yeah. I think on paper we should be able to win if it turns into like a top mid jungle matchup, and even if they try and camp bot lane and try and get King behind. I think our comeback chances are a lot stronger than theirs if someone falls behind.
Yeah, I mean, I have faith in King. I mean, King, he hasn't been as, stand out or as flashy as Sven, but he's been putting up Sven numbers, with his KDA and everything. He's been putting up very similar stuff, so I'm not worried that he's going to have a super bad performance or anything. I think that the team just has to have a good strategy and play together and don't do anything too stupid. I'm more worried Blabber's going to do something stupid, because that's usually what happens.
On that note of King, I'm not sure if you saw it because it just came out like within like an hour or two. What's his face? Tim is 7 Houston, if that's how you say it. He did a Run It video for Travis Gafford on King versus Sven, and it is a small sample size, but he seems to be doing about as much damage as Sven was last split with fewer deaths. So that's an interesting watch. So I would plug that. I don't really think that we're in a position right now to say too much to compare them because there's only been 6 games.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think he's been playing just fine. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, he's definitely, there's not really an argument for him getting, like, pushed off or anything. So we'll just have to see. I'm really excited for this weekend. What are your predictions?
I think after last week, they eased all my nervousness. So I think from here on out, every game is a winnable game. So I just have to go with a 3-0, the classic prediction.
Yeah, I think 3-0 would be good. I could see us dropping a game going 2-1, but I think for the most part, this will be another 3-0 week if everything goes right.
Yeah. I think the only thing that would make me happy this week is beating TSM. If we go 2-1 and lose on Sunday, I'd be upset. If we went 1-2 and beat TSM, I'd be happy. So anything that involves beating TSM, I think I will come out of the weekend being okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where I'm at for this weekend. I just wanted to see Power of Evil put back in his place because he is not a top 3 mid in NA.
Well, we'll have to see.
And I stand behind that.
Big words. We'll see what happens. But
he used to be, but he hasn't been.
Well, we'll have to see. I don't have anything else. So.
Yeah, me neither. I think that's about it.
Yeah, be sure to follow us on Twitter at C9Bodied, and we'll see you again next time. Yeah,
shoot us an email at c9bodied@gmail.com. No, scratch that. It's bodiedfancast@gmail.com. But, yep, see you guys next week after we beat TSM.
Later.
Bye.